What's up, YouTube Lords? Andy here. I just finished watching Life Death Part 2 from X-Men 97 on Disney Plus. I would say overall a good episode. Probably like a 7 out of 10 in my opinion. Why is that? Well, they didn't spend enough time on the Forge Storm relationship. I do like the hat tip to her having her old powers back and how she was able to defeat, adversary and, save Forge's life and all that. Just like in the comic books, there's some obviously modifications from the original Marvel comic books X-Men series back then. But in comparison to episode 5, episode 6 was not a good continuation of this one, in my opinion, because they're trying to mix too many things. And they did have the appearance of the Shi'ar Empire, Deathbird, Gladiator, and many important figures of the Shi'ar Empire fighting the Kree and all that. That was good. So the episode, 33 minutes. I also heard something sad that my viewers out there can help confirm this, but I think the main writer was fired by Disney for creative air quote differences or whatever. But if that person's gone, then Disney effed up bad, because overall this series is a good continuation of the original show. I mean, I have my gripes, I can nitpick about things here and there. But episode 5, remember, it's now this title makes more sense, and there's a lot of great member berries at the beginning of the episode. I encourage you to rewatch it. You will see a Watcher and kind of like the cloud stars of the background before the episode starts, when they're on Genosha. I'm like, oh man, that makes a lot more sense now. This is a fantastic episode. I want to say the best Disney animation produced in a long time, because like I pointed out before in other videos, most of the Disney animation is crap in terms of like the storyline, the honoring the heroes and the comic book canon and whatnot. But the Life Death Part 2, I think they should have spent more time on the Stormforge thing. I think they spent like maybe, a couple of minutes out of the 33 minutes, like on a maybe total of, my guess is under 10. I didn't get a timer and do a countdown of how much time did Forge and Storm get screen time, but I know it's a small portion of the overall 33 minutes, and it's kind of misleading because, the thumbnail here shows Forge and Storm and whatever, but I know they're weaving things in that are from the comic book. You have a lot of history. I would say doing a pretty good job so far. But this mid-season episode, because we're gonna get 4 more episodes after this before season 1 ends, is like the best. And I wish they continued from here, but I guess you don't want to leave this hanging. You want to kind of like tie up those loose ends here. Yeah, you're gonna have a Deathbird being a major threat to the entire galaxy, just like in the comic book. Of course, you have Lilandra, leader of the Shi'ar Empire. Charles Xavier is going to return to Earth. So in the beginning, it's pretty misleading that they have Charles listed as dead, assassinated, when he really wasn't. But anyways, whatever. Small little details. I'm also concerned that if you don't have the current writers who created these 10 episodes continue with season 2, then I'm going to be really worried about the quality and the weaving of the storyline in relation to the comic book canon. Again, that's my point of reference. I grew up as a kid reading these comic books. You know, I was reading them in like the 1980s. And again, X-Men history is a bit convoluted in terms of the comic books. You know, there's a lot of kind of weird twisty ends here and there, but overall it's real good up until I would say about 2012 in the comic books. So, but Life Death Part 2, now that we're focusing on this, I can make a whole other video about the comic books, X-Men comic books, current year and the past at another time. But this is a good episode, and again, I would rate Remember It with Gambit's demise and sacrifice as, you know, like on an 8 out of 10 rating on that episode. And like I said, maybe a 7 out of 10 for Life Death Part 2. You know, still a good story. You know, it's good to see Storm get her powers back. It's awesome to see her in her original costume that she was in, you know, with the corona and the black and white cape. And, you know, I'm surprised that they showed skin in this episode because we are living in a time of, how should I put it? Yeah, I'll put it like this way. A bizarro church lady kind of clown world in terms of, like, you know, visual representation of women in comic books or in media, especially animation, you know, superheroines. So it was nice to see her, you know, have her in her old school costume. So this series overall gives you a lot of, you know, member berries and of course tips of the hat to the fans, which I like. But again, I'm greatly concerned for season 2 if what I remember, I forget the dude's name, if he's been canned, and who they get to replace him, because usually they have people that have no love for the comic books, and to do this series well, you're going to have a love for the X-Men and the canon and the lore and the characters, and here they do. So spoiler alert here, but the in Life Death, when they have the credits, Gambit's no longer there. They replaced Gambit with Nightcrawler. And of course, Charles Xavier finally gets, I guess, the psychic message that Gambit died. And so he's breaking up with Alondra and headed back to Earth to rejoin the X-Men. So we'll see how that goes. But, you know, I recommend this series for fans of the X-Men. It's not perfect, you know, like I said, I can nitpick here and there overall, but episode 5, I just kind of had a really bad feeling when they said, hey, it's Genosha or whatever, and, you know, you had Cable appear in and then leave, and like, oh man. And like I said, I didn't notice the Watcher there before, but man, that episode was awesome. So, so far, overall, I like the series. You know, there's some stuff, like I mentioned before, that I can nitpick and stuff, but it's a good series. So we'll see what they have for episode number 7 coming out next Wednesday. And please continue to hit that notification bell, like, subscribe. Please leave a comment. Again, I want to hear, you know, positive stuff, like what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. You know, all criticism is good criticism. Feedback is your friend. But I want to say that whoever wrote this, animated, etc., overall does have a love of the Marvel Comics, the X-Men, of course, the original series, and so forth. Like I said, nitpicking stuff, you know, like Rogue, you know, kind of being, you know, flat, etc., etc., and, you know, just minor details. Like I said, you know, don't like Magneto's face here. Reminds me of Granny Goodness from, you know, DC, Darkseid Apocalypse and all that stuff. And Bishop, I think he was cooler with the longer hair, but, you know, he's got a short haircut. And here, Storm and Bishop kind of get knocked out. A little cheesy in my opinion, but whatever. I'll end this video because I can ramble on forever. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you when episode 7 comes out next week on Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.